When you were making that video, did you uncover other fraud in the process?
Yeah, so I have part two coming out that we are going to go into a whole separate thing of the fraud that enables the fraud to continue, which is these transportation companies that allows the fraud to kind of make it look like it's not as fraudulent.
So explain this.
Yeah, so you have the home healthcare business, you have the daycares, you have the adult daycares, and like when did we ever hear about adult daycares? Like what the heck? Like how
What
many
does
old?
that what does that look like?
Yeah, like a bunch of old people in diapers. I don't know.
I guess elderly care is my
Yeah.
guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like why so many of them? But and why do like assisted living? So they have all these welfare programs, and they have autism as well. Autism rates have skyrocketed throughout Minnesota as they've received millions and millions of dollars. Autism rates have significantly went up for some random reason. But so with these transportation companies, they're all linked. It's like what keeps the bike chain spinning, the transportation company, because what these transportations do is these home healthcare companies are able to say, okay, well, our client needs to go to this healthcare provider to receive his treatment, but there's actually no treatment that needs to get there's no service that actually needs to be rendered. But to get their payment, they're saying, okay, we're going to move this elderly person from the adult daycare center to our healthcare company, and then we're going to charge the transportation vehicle. And then because we charged him, we have proof that somebody showed up to that service. And so then we're going to charge the service, and then we're going to send the person back in the transportation vehicle. But they never actually send a person, and they just write false claims and false services. But because the transportation companies, that's like their proof of being able to say like, yes, the service was rendered.
So they're just driving around and there's no one in the car.
Yeah, if you drive around Minnesota, drive around Minneapolis, you'll see tons and tons of vans of Somalian men driving these Chrysler vans. They're primarily Chrysler vans for whatever reason, and there's nobody in the vehicle.
And it's the Somalians doing this one as well?
Jack, 89% of the fraud happening in Minnesota is by Somalians.
But don't you have any other group of people that are like, doing the same thing? Like,
there was fraud being committed as well by white people, and they were charged.
But the Somalians weren't?
One Somalian man was caught for $7 million of fraud, charged. A judge overturned it after he had been charged for fraud.
What was his fraud?
I think it was adult daycare centers. It was one of the welfare frauds. He was charged for $7 million, and the judge went and reversed it.
Is this just a couple like Somalian kingpins that are very clever that are able to see how to create these fraudulent systems? Or what? How do you know who's at the top, basically?
Well, that's the problem. Is it's so big. Like the roots are so deep now. Like where you have so many connections. That's why it's so hard. That's why it's been so hard for the FBI to really go in and do what they need to do, because it's so much fraud has been happening. Tim Walz has said he's been trying to combat fraud since 2019. Within 6 years, a lot of things can happen. The roots can just keep getting deeper and deeper. More people can be brought into the fraud. That's why it's becoming so hard.
And so at the top level, do you think it's mostly negligence of the people that make the policy? Or do you think that it's cowardice? Or do you think it's like legitimately just people that are not smart?
Cowardice. And it's a huge group of people to get votes. You have upwards of 100,000 people where you can go get votes instantaneously.
How much of this do you think was started innocently? Of like, hey, we want to support the community. We think that if we could help parents out, give them free access to childcare, they could do better. The kids are gonna like. How much started out as purely just we want to help the community?
Yeah, I think it started out in a good way by helping refugees at that time come to America. I don't know if, like, for instance, like a difference between a migrant and immigrant, one of those words means that they're here temporarily, and another one means they're staying here forever. But refugees, I don't know if the plan is ever to take them back to their country, right? So I think they accepted them. They're coming from war-torn country, and they didn't think about what would happen.
So if you were governor for a day, what would you do?
I would cut all funding. I would stop it. I'd put immediate pause to all funding and say, all right, you guys, we're going to send out this group. We're going to get everyone inside this room, and here's the daycares we're going to go check out. And if they can't answer simple questions, then we're going to send them over to the federal government. And then from the federal government, they're going to go and do their investigation. Like, it is so simple to stop the fraud. You literally would just say, all right, let's pause all payments. Or let's get all the groups that are receiving money from the government from welfare purposes. Let's go to the autism clinics. Let's go to daycares. Let's go to the adult daycares. Let's go to the home health. Let's go to the home health care providers. Let's go to the transportation vehicle companies. And let's see what's happening. And let's just ask them, hey, can you show us how you guys are operating? Do it. They could solve it in a week.
What do you think is the best anti-fraud measure that you've seen?
To show you're a legitimate business before receiving money. Like, I think what they're doing right now by them freezing all that funding, amazing. Why didn't they do that before? Like, they should show that they're a legit business before they receive the money.
Who decided to freeze it?
The HHS.
So it was not Tim Walz.
Not Tim Walz.
So in terms
My favorite new hobby is ratioing Tim Walz on Twitter.
I see you ratioing everybody on Twitter. That's your new favorite hobby, apparently. What's your Twitter look like?
Yeah, I'm getting pretty good at ratioing people like Tim Walz on Twitter because they're speaking like idiots and they're supporting fraud. And it turns out that the majority of the population doesn't support fraud. And so on Twitter, it's been actually crazy. For instance, just the past few days on Twitter, I put out one tweet, over 200,000 likes on me calling out the mainstream media. And a simple tweet of me saying mainstream media is more mad at me than they are at the fact that billions of your tax dollars are being used for fraudulent business. I am not an enemy of the people. They are. I'm with you. They are against you. Remember that. 253,000 people like that tweet.
Wow.
In one day.
One day.
And then in terms of like ratioing, have you had any like
so some person
Walz, how does he is he just ignoring it?
Oh, he's been trying to. For the video got over 500 million views in impressions alone within the first 72 hours. Tim Walz was posting about his cat out of the fire at his house.
What about the mayor? The one that was in cahoots with the Somalian guy?
I haven't heard anything from him. Nothing. Like, all they have to do is just like simply say, all right, we're going to pause fraud. We're going to stop it. Tim Walz just keeps blaming Trump for the fraud. And then you're also seeing people come out like Hassan Piker. He's such a clown, little commie.
Have you spoke to Hassan?
No, and I'd actually be interested in speaking with these people.
We've had him on the podcast before twice, actually.
And but the thing is, I don't respect these people because they don't go out and actually go see stuff for themselves. They're literally just talk behind a streaming desk.
It would be interesting to go out in the field with Hassan Piker to Minnesota.
I would do it.
I think that would be but the problem now is that every single daycare is going to look legit.
Yeah.
They're going to throw kids in there and then it's going to be, there we go.
I knew that was going to happen. And so, for instance, Hassan, he retweeted so since I've gotten so much attention on X lately, some of the people that are running for re-election in Minnesota have said like, oh, we helped Nick Shirley, which is completely false. I saw this yesterday. I was like, wait, what? And so this person put out this tweet. He got 7,000 likes because this candidate said that she had worked with me in this video, which was false. And I simply put, this is completely false. I have no idea who this lady is. She is lying to make herself look good for her campaign. Shame on her. 73,000 likes, and the original post got 7,000 likes. So I have way more support on my side because how can you defend fraud? You can't defend it. If you watch someone steal $100 from your grandma, you're just going to let them walk away.